Hey, g'day guys, welcome back. Chip City here. I'll probably have to apologise for the microphone. I'm actually not at my normal desktop, and this microphone here is pretty crappy. Hopefully it comes through okay, and I do apologise in advance for the audio quality. Just a quick video. Obviously, as predicted, we've got a nice little dip here. This would be probably a good time to buy in, although I reckon it could go further. But yeah, if you weren't in a mad rush, you could certainly, or if you're in a bit of a rush to get in the markets, yeah, certainly you could get in sometime out here. I expect this may go further down, or it might recover. So far, all indicators are that dips of this size have been bought up pretty quick. Yeah, so to make that do what you want with that. Let's have a quick look here at what that amount actually is. Price range. So that's a dip of about about 25%. It's not a big deal. It's probably where it is right now. It's only moved 17%. So yeah, it's a decent sized dip, but yeah, nothing to write home about. So yeah, that's pretty normal in these markets. You're going to get these. Nothing goes up in a straight line, but you know, the trend is still very much upwards, and I'm pretty certain we'll gobble this up. And if it is a correction, well, it's a healthy one, and we'll consolidate for probably a little period, and then we'll pump again, as you can see happening multiple times. You can have here, nice one there. They're all scattered along. They're nothing new. But what I wanted to talk about in this video further was this fact, MattyG. So this is MattyG's portfolio, and I just want to mention, just want to bring up a couple of things. These are things that I think about that give me an indication of where this may or may not be going. So I just want to, I know I've touched on this a few times, and I don't want to hammer MattyG. I think he's been excellent for the space. In fact, we can all thank him for being in DogeGF. But it doesn't change my thoughts about things and the logic and reason. So I just want to look again at the situation. So here we have a man that claims that a year ago he was broke and pretty much living out of a tent, and now today he's got near enough $1.2 million and is holding 239 trillion DogeGF tokens. Now I've been following this account from the inception, and this amount has not moved since I've been following it, which is, I don't know, a month or so. So in other words, he's held 239 trillion or so of these coins from pretty much the get-go. And I've seen his account fluctuate in US dollar value from as high as 1.2, then down to 75, then as high as about 1.6 at the peak of yesterday's price action. And now, of course, it's retraced due to the recent dip, still around $1.2 million. All very good. But let me ask you this. If you were living in a tent a year ago, and you all of a sudden found yourself yesterday holding $1,600,000 US dollars worth of this asset, why wouldn't you sell? Why wouldn't you sell some? Could you bring to me anybody, let alone a homeless person a year ago, that wouldn't take profits or liquidate their position at 1.6 million US dollars? That is a life-changing amount of money from a meme coin. Again, he's never sold one of these 239 trillion coins, and he's never liquidated $1 of his up to 1.6. Even when it went down to, you would think that when it went from 1.2 a few weeks ago down to 75,000 in less than 48 hours, that you'd be beside yourself. And yet, from my observations, his demeanour didn't alter. And then the shock that you would have seen, the shock that most people would have experienced when it went from $1.2 million down to 75,000, and then a few weeks later, way back up to $1.6 million US, you'd think, oh, thank God it's back up. I'm out. I've already been scared once. I'm done. No, not MattyG. He's holding strong. So what does that tell you? Well, I'll tell you what it tells me. It tells me, much like in one of MattyG's previous videos, where he's told about this coin and told to shut up about it for a few months, and yet he spilt the beans in an earlier video. And if you look at one of my videos, a reaction video, I highlight that. And could it be that those same informants, the same ones that have kept MattyG informed on this, are the same ones that are telling him don't sell out? Because it doesn't make any sense why someone in his position, or anybody's position to be frank, would not sell out at $1.6 million unless you knew something bigger was around the corner. Again, he hasn't sold one of these 239 trillion DogeGF tokens. He hasn't sold $1 of this 1.2 million US, or 1.6 million US as of yesterday. He doesn't give a shit. This could go down to 50 grand and he'd hold strong, as he's indicated in the past. So what's going on? Well, I reckon he knows. I reckon he has an inside line, like he has had from the start, that this is going places. Now that's great news for us, because if a man in his position, MattyG's position, the tip rat, is not going to sell out at 1.6 million, then I'm not selling out. I'm going to follow his account like a hawk. And when he starts selling, I reckon that's an indicator that we start selling, because he is clearly holding for good reason, and that reason could only be that there's more upside coming. So that's my 2 bits worth. Not bagging out MattyG. I think he's a ripper, but I'm looking at this behaviour as abnormal. Doesn't make any sense. So as I've said a few times now, this is going places, and this is an indicator of why it's going places, because I cannot fathom for the life of me anyone else other than MattyG and the whales above him that wouldn't be selling out at least some of the profits. And he hasn't sold one. And I've been told, no, Chip, you're wrong. This is not his trading stack. This is his big stack. Okay, so this is all the marbles here then, and he's hanging on to them. Why? Is he going to let this go down to 75 grand or 50 grand again? Yep, you betcha. He doesn't care, because I believe he knows where this is going. There's bigger fish to fry. Now, I played a video a little while ago with a bloke in Shiba Inu that had turned $1,000 into 60 grand. Now, he got to that 60 grand because he didn't sell at $1 million. He didn't sell at 2 million. He didn't sell at 10 million. He cashed out at 60 million, right? And I believe MattyG's got those sorts of numbers in mind. He's not selling out at 1.6. I guarantee yesterday he wouldn't have sold at 2 million if it had kept pumping. He's holding on. So while he's holding on, I'm holding on. That's my 2 bobs worth. This is Chip City. Have a great day. Take it easy.